there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is creation and the creator. One of the things we're going to discuss in the tarot class, Read the Tarot, that is starting on Monday, is the formula for manifestation. This formula is present in astrology, it's present in feng shui, it's present in a lot of different systems. Throughout the annals of time, we can see the formula for manifestation that has been written in there. And it's said a lot of different ways. What my mom would say is, what you think about and feel about, you bring about. Whatever you're thinking, every thought you think has an equivalent emotion that goes with it. And so what we put in our minds, if we don't tend the garden, if we don't mind our minds, we're going to have the resultant feeling that aligns with the feeling we're holding in our temple and in our mind. So whatever you think about, you're going to feel about. And the waters of emotion are going to cause that plant to bear fruit in this realm. It's going to cause it to manifest. So air always represents the mind, water always represents the emotions, and earth always represents manifestation, the manifest world, body, money, self-worth, form. There's another element in there called fire, which is where you get to fire up a new idea. And the reason I wanted to talk about creation and the creator is that, in my experience, a lot of two-leggeds actually can get into quite depressive, suicidal ideation states in response to witnessing creation, looking at all that's ever been created, looking at what others are creating. Now, the challenge with holding your awareness on something someone else is creating, which you're not the steward of, and then being hurt or wounded or depressed or even suicidal as a result of it, is that I've never, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the universe, I've never seen a year here at Earth School where we didn't have unevolved beings. And unevolved beings are allowed to create. They have free will too, and they're allowed to create just as much as you. So, this actually stems from a previous tarot class I've done. This is the fourth time I'm teaching this class, and it's something I said in one of these classes, and I'm like, yeah, that is an eternal truth for me, right? Maybe it's time to stop focusing up on creation, and it's time to start focusing up on the creator. Because you yourself are creating a reality. You have an entire reality. Everything has a reality. A hummingbird has a reality that's quite divergent from ours. And that reality exists every single day, just like your reality does, just like your neighbor's reality does, just like someone on the polar opposite side of the world's reality does. And we get to steward that reality. I am a multiverse theorist. I do understand the concept that in multiverse theory, we're stating that there's an infinite number of multiverses under which this is happening, and in an alternate multiverse, I'm a man. In an alternate multiverse, I was never born. In an alternate multiverse, I'm an alien, and I'm not even having this conversation. Whatever, when we talk about infinite, there's lots of options there. The way I've always seen it is each person is stewarding their own multiverse. And each multiverse, each person being their own multiverse, there are a lot of different divergent multiverses, mini mansions, if you will, down here at Earth School. And when my multiverse synchronizes at the resonant frequency of another multiverse, people come together. But sometimes we can have fears. Part of having a conscious mind and a conscious construct that was programmed from 0 to 7 when the subconscious mind or operating system was also programmed is that sometimes you have false teachers or teachers that were themselves not very evolved and not in an evolutionary state. And so that can implant certain fears in you. And we know that our thoughts are not always the purest or the truest. How do we know that? Because so many two-legged struggle with self-worth. They struggle with self-love. They struggle with self-adoration, self-praise, A lot of beings are chomping at the bit to get your attention because they're in such a habituated state of ignoring themselves, and they don't even see it. I've had people literally talking at me, and I've been backing up, wanting to go to the restroom, wanting to get a break from conversation, wanting to not have to constantly keep my attention with someone because it's a really precious commodity that I hold, just needing a break. And I've had them literally follow me around, talk, 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 trying to keep my attention on them, which is my most precious commodity. And foundationally, I believe the reason that happens is because they are ignoring themselves. They are completely ignoring themselves. They're not spending time giving themselves the words of affirmation and the praise that they need, or the gifts that they need, if that's their love language, or the time and attention they need, very likely, or the touch they need, or whatever it is that, the acts of service they need, whatever their love language is. They're not giving it to themselves. And that's one of the ways we can fill our own cup. We can practice self-love, self-respect, is we can look at the 5 love languages, is we can discern which ones are ours, and we can make sure that we're applying that to ourselves. Am I giving myself time and attention? Am I giving myself acts of service? Or am I just constantly serving other people? And am I in a state of toxic femininity where I'm constantly giving out because I'm constantly receiving others, but I'm never considering what I receive and making sure that that I'm also stewarding my own ship, and I'm making active decisions, dynamic decisions about where my life is going, not just being so outward focused that I get in a state of imbalance, So today, one of the things I wanted to touch on is maybe it's time to stop focusing on creation and to start focusing on the creator. We're not the steward of all of creation. I mean, thank goodness if it's infinite multiverses, I don't want to steward that. That sounds like a lot of situations. That sounds like a whole bunch of situations. And what I can tell you is it's enough for Heather Feather to steward Heather Feather, to steward Heather Feather's mind, to steward Heather Feather's words, to steward her heart, to steward her self-love, her self-respect, her self-care, to steward her temple on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. That's plenty of work for me. I don't know about you, that's plenty of work for me. And it's a constant job. It's a constant job. I cook at home, I eat organic, I do Qigong or yoga in the morning, I lift weights, I brush my teeth, I use a tongue scraper to activate my digestion in the morning, I do oil pulling, which I highly recommend, a little swish of coconut oil, getting all the bacteria out of the mouth. I have all these different practices that I am doing to steward Heather's physical temple. Now, another 2-legged in their creation could come along and just go like, you're ugly, or you're bald and you look like a man, or, people can say anything. They can say anything. And they do. But, it's possibly time more for you as a creator to clown around down here in your creation and stop being so stoic and serious in response to whatever anyone else is doing with their creation. Because whatever crazy thing anyone has to say to me, that haircut's too masculine, it's like, then I don't recommend it for you if you don't want to look mannish. Then it's not for you. You know what I mean? I don't make my choices for this entity in response to another. If I did, that would be the ego. That would be me trying to look cool or look good to appease someone else's idea of what cool and good are. And I'm the steward of what is my cool and my good, And so we can also, if someone comes along with their tainted creation, judging you physically, judging you mentally, judging you emotionally, judging you spiritually, you can just go, okay, interesting. That's an interesting share. I noticed that your share leads to negative feelings. Have you ever considered that factor? You have the freedom with your free will as a creator to create the response that you want. And if someone wants to treat you like a wastebasket and they want to throw trash towards you, you have the freedom to take that trash and tell them, I'm not a wastebasket. I'm sorry. It seems you wanted to dispose a darkened or ugly thought in me. And I'm not a holder of darkened and ugly thoughts, and I'm sorry you struggle in that way. I can pray for you. But let's be clear, I'm a temple. So, when you have thoughts that are befitting of a temple, feel free to stop by and share. I'd love to hear them. Then we'll be aligned in the design, You as the creator have the freedom in all circumstances, in all moments. You are actually the decider as a creator of your reality, of what you are going to have transpire in your life. You are the one that is choosing where your body goes as it moves through a day, what job it goes to, what friends it talks to, what things it studies, you're making these decisions all the time, you beautiful chooser of your life. And so you're getting to decide. And there are lots of ways that I think it could be beneficial for two-leggeds to look at what they're choosing. A lot of two-leggeds will say they're pro-life when they're actually pro-birth. They're really into a baby being born, but they're not into stewarding all the babies that are born that have a low quality life and are being physically or sexually assaulted in an orphanage and don't have parents. It's just like, yep, your baby should come through, so that's pro-birth. If you're pro-life, then all of the orphans would be a passion that you are stewarding to ensure that their lives are a quality of life befitting someone that didn't get to remain with their parents. Because you can tell someone don't have an abortion, give your child up for adoption, and then that doesn't mean their needs are met. That doesn't mean their needs are met. And I always say I'm not here to sell my opinion. It's taken. Heather's got it. I'm deeply pro-choice. We have a population issue. We are not the body. There are all kinds of reasons that I'm pro-choice. I'm not here to steward your pro-choiceness. What I'm here to say is if you're choosing something in your temple, why do you choose it? I've spent a lot of time thinking about the millions of children that their quality of life is tremendously low, and that has been handed to them because somebody convinced a mother somewhere or somebody felt like they couldn't have an abortion, and now our population has increased. And every abortion that's ever happened has increased resources for every human that is alive today and every human subsequently that will come. So every abortion that has happened has meant less mouths to feed here, less resources to be used. Thank you, humbly, to all of those that made that difficult decision. I've never met a woman that's made it in a state of joy and laughter. It's a difficult decision, and I want to thank you for giving the earth more resources. So that's my take on it, but it's because Heather Feather, as the creator of her creation and as the creator of her statements, takes a moment to consider, why am I pro-choice? I don't just go, pro-choice, my body, my rights. I go, what does that mean? Why do I need to advocate that I should be the chooser and the decider of my body? Well, because I don't want somebody to come and chain me up and, poke me with a hot poker. And so that is something that would be considered untoward. And I don't want someone else to come in and tell me any things I should do with my body because I'm the one that's making the decisions about where it goes, what it does, and the quality of life it's going to have based on the choices it's making. So again, I'm not trying to take a side on a coin. I'm just saying whatever side you take on this one topic we're just looking at together, have you completely flushed up what that means for you? If you're pro-life, have you adopted 10 children? What does it mean for you? Are you going and making sure that orphanages give an extremely high quality of life? I would love to see orphans have a higher quality life than regular two-leggeds. If you're going to advocate that pathway, then that makes sense. Okay. We also need to consider how we're going to grow more resources because now we have more mouths to feed. So there are other things we need to solve. But I'm not right. I'm not right in my opinion. I've just spent a lot of time as a creator considering what I'm contributing to creation. And that's the question I'm asking today. How much of your attention is focused in disdain and disgruntledness with creation? Well, I hate to break the news to you, but the world has always had unevolved people that are spending many, many, many lifetimes evolving from my perspective. And there are definitely many here right now that are not going to get there in this lifetime. I can look and see, I don't think you're going to make it in this lifetime. I'm not the steward of your soul, mate. May you get there. I'll pray that for you. But there are many, and there always have been those at Earth School that are unevolved in their choices. And by unevolved, I mean not loving the self and not loving others. And so rather than being disgruntled in your life about creation, perhaps it's time to focus up on the star player and consider what you as a creator are contributing to the web of life. We have an amazing Read the Tarot group that has come together. We're going to start that class on Monday, February 20th. You can go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link. We also have Egyptian shamanism, Celtic shamanism, Hawaiian shamanism. We have a lot of fun classes coming up this year. I always am willing to work on a sliding scale with you. And you can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Blessed be.